And welcome. Can you believe it, Simon? We're up to episode 39.
39.
39.
That's all.
I can't believe that. Can you, Simon?
No, I can't. It's great. Fantastic. Congratulations, Tony.
Oh, well, so congratulations to everybody and all our guests that we've had. It's been so good.
Yeah.
Let me first introduce myself. I am your wellbeing pathfinder. As you can see behind, there's the path. I help you find it, your well-being. And I do things like health retreats. I actually help out with workshops. I do one-on-one consultations. And my job is to help you maximize your feelings of vibrance, purpose, happiness, and success. And Simon, what do you do?
Thanks, Tony. For those that don't know me, my name is Simon Bowden, and I'm an international marketing business coach with over 25 years experience, which makes me a master coach. My mission is always to help my clients identify their aspirations and vision, strengths and blind spots, help them make informed decisions and take actions when needed to ultimately fast track them towards their personal goals. My coaching caters for executives and directors to entrepreneurs, small business owners, and beyond. Whatever your situation, I'll help you build on your strengths and get clear on how to create a profitable future. As you know, Tony, I love what I do and I'm passionate about helping my clients succeed.
That's beautiful, Simon. And now I'm just going to read out our mission. Our mission is to educate and engage with our audience with lively discussions with experts to gain their experiences, tips, benefits of the business and the well-being practices that they offer. Over to you, Simon. Would you like to introduce our lovely guests today?
Absolutely. And I firstly want to say to you, Tony, we've got a bit of I could sort of almost call it a bit of an international feel today.
We do.
Because our special guest today is coming in from Sydney. I'm obviously from Melbourne, and Tony, you're from Tasmania. So we're all many, many kilometres away, but you know what? We've all come together in unity today on our Let's Chat podcast. So I would love to introduce Amanda McNeil. She's a resilience and empowerment coach and founder of You Empowered Coaching. Amanda helps professionals who are stuck in their comfort zone by helping them create clarity of purpose, of their purpose and vision, and connecting to their new story in life, building the confidence so they are inspired to take action, and building certainty so they can have a resilience to overcome any challenge so they can maximize their success in either their career or their life. So I would love you I want to welcome Amanda, and I'm sure today's podcast is going to be an exciting one. So welcome, Amanda.
Hello. Hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to be with you, Simon and Tony, and everybody who's tuning in. Thank you so much for having me this morning. I'm really excited.
No, it's great to have you. And you are, I've been trying to get you for ages. Thank you, Amanda. And I'm so glad that we've finally got you on our show. So I wanted to lead off by saying, what led you to becoming a resilience and empowerment coach?
Yeah. So I've lived a life, Simon. I've lived a life, I tell you. And, it was through those journeys that I've had in my life that, I've always been someone who, has tried to do a lot of reflection and learning and personal growth. And then in 2021, I really hit a stalemate in my life and in my career. And I was lost and I was stuck and I was all of the things. And that's when I reached out myself to a coach to help me pull myself out of where I was, help give me some clarity about where I wanted to go, because I really didn't have a clue. My plan post leaving my corporate career kind of didn't work out and I didn't have a plan B. So I hired a career coach and I worked with them, and I just loved the transformation that I got from my time with them. And that's where I found the clarity. That's where I found my purpose. And that's where I found my why. And my why was I want to be able to help people who have gone through or are in a similar situation to where I was, because now I have the insights and the tools and the strategies to be able to help pull them out of that space and be able to take them through that journey so they can find their transformation and they can find their passions and their dream and know that it's possible. So I think that, sort of short version, that's how I found coaching.
Thank you, Amanda. That's terrific. Can we just go back about the lessons that you've learnt and a little bit about your life journey? Tell us some of your challenges and how that affected you personally in that journey.
Yeah, Tony, it was, I guess the first big defining moment for me in my personal journey was the breakdown of my first marriage. I found myself in, if people looked from the outside looking in, it looked like the perfect marriage, right? Happy, we weren't short of anything. We had great holidays. We just bought ourselves a new house, which we were going to renovate. But I never felt so alone. And that was when I really had to ask myself a lot of questions about why am I feeling like this? He wanted to start a family. I was really reluctant. And I was like, why? Like, I'm supposed to be happy in this marriage. This is what I wanted. Why do I feel like this? And so there was a lot of personal questioning and really having to look within to understand what was really going on with me. And when I was able to do that, that's when I, kind of decided that I wasn't happy. I was settling in my life. I was stuck in a space where I felt like I should be, but not where I wanted to be. And that was kind of like the light bulb moment for me, because once I had that clarity, I was then able to start to make the decisions that I had to make, as hard as they were. And they were very hard. And there was a lot of guilt associated with deciding what I had to do for myself to allow myself to live the life that I thought I was destined to live, was to actually break someone else's heart and leave the marriage. So I guess that was, in terms of a life challenge, that was probably one of my first and biggest defining moments. And then the second one would be when I found myself in, a job. Again, I was very successful at it. I had a great brand and a great reputation in my corporate life in the job that I was doing, which was in event management. Running many, many successful events. But again, the culture was it was a slow burn, but it was year on year, it was getting worse and worse and worse and kind of getting really toxic. And the political gameplay was really starting to influence the way that, our team was running and how we were turning up and how we were behaving. And, again, I had to look within and go, is this really where I want to be? Like, I was comfortable, don't get me wrong. The security of a corporate paycheck is a big one to keep you stuck in that space, right? But you really have got to ask yourself, is this how I really want to live my life? Like, waking up every morning with that anxiousness and that nervousness and not knowing why that was. And that's when I really had to make some really tough decisions about what was going to make me happy and what was going to push me to live the life that I really was destined for. And so, that was, as I mentioned before, in 2021, that was when I decided that I was going to leave that job and venture out into the big bad world and find something that I was truly passionate about. Like, I wanted to contribute. I wanted to give back. I wanted to serve. I wanted to help people. So that was my second kind of defining, challenging life moment for me.
If I could ask Amanda, just take us back a little bit. What was the defining moment? That moment when you got out of bed and decided this is what is, like, today's going to change. What was it that actually? What was that defining moment that made you want to change?
Yeah, it's a funny story, actually. So it was. So this is when I was at the end of my career, like at the end of my job, and I woke up one morning, it was Christmas holidays, right? So I was on leave and I was about a week away from having to go back into the office. And I remember I was hanging out my washing. I was hanging out the sheets that I'd washed. And I had this overwhelming sense of heaviness. And I was thinking to myself, how the hell am I going to get my strength back to be able to go back into this environment? And how am I going to survive? How am I going to exist in this toxicity without it really impacting me? Because it was already impacting my mental health. And I thought, what have I got to do? What have I got to do to be able to get through another year of this? And I was trying to have many conversations, many pep talks with myself and, kind of talking on this side and talking on that side. And, I was just like, well, you know what? I'm just going to have to show up in a different way. And I'm no longer going to appease people. And, I'm just going to tell everybody what they think. And if they don't like it, then that's their tough luck. And I don't care. Like I was in really negative space. And that's not who I am naturally. Naturally, I'm a vivacious personality, bright and bubbly. So that was the defining moment for me, that I really was like, what the hell am I going to do? And why am I pushing myself to go back into a job where I'm so unhappy? And as it turns out, when I got back from Christmas leave, that first week that I was back, they announced that they were going through a restructure. And boom, that was my moment. I was just like, right, this is my exit strategy here. And so I started lobbying and having conversations with whoever I could to really plead my case for a voluntary redundancy. And fortunately, I got it. So that's how I managed to walk away from that job with a little bit of, financial security behind me.
Mm-hmm. What came first? Was it the job or was it the marriage?
The marriage breakdown came first, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You mentioned in your life journey about stress. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what caused the stress and how you managed the stress as best you could?
So I think what caused me the stress was the unknown and being undecided about what was the right path. And not being clear about what that path was.
Yep.
And that to me created a lot of stress because I just didn't know what was the right thing to do. I was so conflicted about, should I do this? But if I do this, then that's going to happen. I was all about the cause and effect, right? Yep. So it was very much that cause and effect thinking. Yep. And with that turmoil, that inner turmoil, comes a lot of stress.
Yep.
And I think the other thing as well is, particularly in my corporate life, is, I was trying to talk to people. I was trying to create change. I was trying to, implement processes and listening to other people's concerns. And, because I was in a leadership role, right? So I had team members reporting to me and they were unhappy. And I was trying to look after them and manage things for them and shield them from a lot of the political stuff that was going on, because, that's my job as a leader. But I was also trying to make things a little bit more positive and trying to create some, effective changes that would actually make everybody's life a little bit easier. But it was all falling on deaf ears. And so I was just like, well, I can't, I feel like I don't have a voice here. I feel like I'm not making any kind of positive impact. And that again caused a lot of stress because I could see my team suffering. I was suffering, and yet I couldn't create any kind of positive change out of this. And that creates a lot of inner stress and turmoil as well.
So what's been your biggest aha moment, Amanda?
I think the biggest aha moment for me in both they're kind of the same in both the relationship breakdown and also the job kind of breakdown, if you will, was when I spent that time really reflecting in and had the clarity about the fact that I was settling and I was stuck in a comfort zone and that this was not the life that I was meant to live. And as soon as I got that clear in my head, that's when the light bulb went on. And that's when I started making decisions for myself that were going to get me out of that situation. Because once you kind of understand that that's the path forward, you've got some focus and you've got some forward momentum, right? You've got something that you're starting to work towards. And all of a sudden, when you're working towards something that you know is going to be positive for you, you don't quite know what the outcome is yet, but you know it's going to be a positive one because you're doing things to better your situation. That's when it all starts to fall into place. So, it's so true where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? That's such a true statement. And for me, Simon, I think that just having that moment of clarity about, no, I'm settling here. This is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not the life I'm supposed to be living. That was the aha moment for me.
Yeah. No, thanks, Amanda.
You've spoken about the past and now. In the now, how do you work with your clients? How do you get them to sort of come to terms with their clarity and their purpose?
Yeah, well, I think, Tony, that's the key thing in my working with my clients. The very first thing that I do is we bring it back to basics and we look at the now and we get clarity about where they are right now in their life so they can start to see how, the different areas of your life might be impacting certain things and certain results that they want and why they're not getting the results they want. And then it's about creating that purpose. It's about creating that connection to why they want to do what they want to do. Why is it important to them? Because when you start to make that emotional connection and you really have that clarity about the vision that you're wanting to move forward to, that's when things start to fall into place. Like through my own experience, that's when the path became clear for me. And so that's what I do with my clients in the first instance. And then once we have that clarity of where we're going and the direction that we're taking, their journey, that's when we start to look at and build awareness of what are the things that are stopping you at the moment from getting there? What are the self-doubts? What are the fears? And we work through all of that. What are the habits that aren't moving you forward? So we work through all of those things. I can help my clients develop some strategies to, if things do come up, like they always will, the self-doubt will always pop its head back up, but it's how do you deal with that the next time that happens? That's then going to be a positive impact to keep moving you forward. So then with all of that, it creates the confidence. And when they start to understand how they can overcome all of those things, it really builds that confidence and the momentum. And then we put together an action plan on how they're going to move forward. So they've got real certainty around the path forward. And, they're all kind of lessons that I've taken from my life in terms of how I've moved myself through these challenging situations to get to the other side and get to that transformation. So it's basically how now I work with my clients because I know the success of that through my own experience.
And I wanted to touch on, this is really personal to me, Amanda, and it's the negative versus the positive.
Yeah.
And, often I get, people say to me, you're always so positive, how do you keep that up? And I suppose the question to you is, you must deal with a lot of negative people. How do you turn that negativity into positivity?
Yeah. Good question, Simon. Good question. It all starts with just creating the awareness around what is causing the negativity. It's, we do a lot of, so there's an exercise which is, about that cause and effect. It's the above the line thinking versus the below the line thinking. And I take them through that exercise because when they start to identify that they're really thinking below the line, which is all the negative stuff, right? Then we start to reframe it. Okay, so this is how you think about it at the moment, but then let's reframe it into a positive way that's really going to support you moving forward. So that's one thing. So creating the awareness around the negativity, but then it's also teaching them to be grateful for the smaller things in life, because gratitude is the most powerful thing that you can have to overcome the negativity, because negativity and gratitude cannot exist in the same space. So you can either choose to be negative or you can choose to be grateful. And so if, getting them to start to practice gratitude and be grateful for the small things that you have in life, because we've all got something to be grateful for. And that then creates the optimism, and that then creates the positivity, and then that creates the confidence. And it's all that, self-fulfilling, self-revolving kind of thing. So that's how I help my clients really get out of that negative space.
Beautiful. Now that we spoke about the now, what about the future, Amanda? What does the future look like for you?
The future is bright, Tony. The future is bright for me. Look, I mean, in terms of, I have my aspirations in terms of where I want to take my business. I started the business at the beginning of this year. So I'm, still at the beginning of my journey, and I'm, still going through a massive growth and learning stage at this point in my life. Next year is all about the growth phase. So, these are the things that and again, it kind of goes back to it. You've got to have the vision, right? You've got to have the purpose, because when you create the vision, the how will work itself out. You don't have to know all the detail right now. You just have to have that big picture vision, and then working through the how will naturally happen. And so, I've got my 10-year plan. I've got the goals that I want to achieve. I manifest this beautiful 15-acre property that I'm going to have, a beautiful big barn, and I'm going to run conferences and retreats, much like yourself, Tony, running these retreats for, people and corporates and people who want to be empowered, people who want to really, come into their own space, come into their own power, and be able to conquer anything that they want to in life, because it really is possible. You just have to make sure that you're really clear about what that is that you want for yourself. So I'm really excited about my future, and I'm really excited about, the people that I'm going to be able to work with in my future, and be able to create beautiful transformations, much like I was able to create for myself.
With the types of clients that you're currently dealing with now, Amanda, do you find the same messages keep popping up all the time?
They do. And it's really interesting, because I've had a lot of different clients coming to me with different issues, right? But I think the common thread that I have found in the clients that I've worked with at the moment, it's really around that self-doubt. It's really around the fears that they have that are keeping them stuck in their comfort zone. Because, as you guys know, like when you're in your comfort zone, it's because you've surrounded yourself in this little safe space. But I always say that, your safe zone is not necessarily your comfort zone, right? It can actually be quite a damaging place to exist in, depending on what your circumstances are. But, people are scared about the unknown, and they stay in this little bubble, even though it might not be serving them in life. And so that's the thing that's kind of come up the most. It's that fear. A lot of my clients kind of have an idea about what they want, but they're just so scared to take that step. And they procrastinate, and they, I'll do that next year. Yeah, I've got to just get everything else. I'm a perfectionist. I've just got to get everything else lined up before I take that next step. And really what all of those excuses are is that's just us telling us a story. We're telling ourselves a story to give us permission to stay in that comfort zone. And that's what comes up a lot with my clients. So it's really about breaking that story and creating a new story for your life. Because in order to be able to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, you've got to be that person. You can't be the same person, because you're going to get the same results if you stay in that same space. It's who do you need to be? How do you need to show up to really get the results that you want and live that life that you want? So that's kind of the common thread that I've found with my clients so far.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the time. We're getting close to the top of the hour.
Oh my God, it's gone so quick.
If there's any one message that you'd like to send to our audience, what would it be?
I think what I would like to share is a lot of people get uncomfortable about breaking through. You know, they get close to it. They get close to it. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I'm here to share with you that when you get to that uncomfortable point, that's when you're just about to make the breakthrough and all the good stuff's about to happen. So find that courage, find that inner confidence that can push you to break through that uncomfortable, get comfortable with the uncomfortable and break through that uncomfortableness, because all the good stuff is on the other side of that, and all the success is on the other side of that, and everything will just click for you. So that is probably what I would like to leave with people to think about the next time they feel uncomfortable. Face into it, because that's when it's just about to get really good.
I love that, Amanda. That's absolutely amazing. I just wanted to ask one more question while we've got you.
Yeah.
If there was one learning that today's Amanda would go back 5 years ago and teach old Amanda, what would that one lesson be?
Trust your instincts. Yeah. Trust your instincts, because they'll never lead you astray. And if you know deep down inside that desire, that burn of, you know, wanting something more for yourself, if that's really strong and it doesn't go away, you have to listen to that. And that is what will serve you well in life. Don't ignore that. Don't ignore the instincts, because I mean, how many times have you gone against what you instinctually knew was right and it's kicked you in the butt, right? Exactly. Too many times. So trust your gut. Trust your instincts.
Thank you, Amanda. That's terrific insight.
Thank you so much.
The thing that I got most from our talk today was the clarity to find out what your true purpose is. And I think that's something that a lot of us need to find out to get towards the path. And once you've got that passion there, you can do it. And I loved how you talked about getting that breakthrough, going through taking that dive into that freezing cold pool. You just got to do it. That's what it is. It's just like standing on the edge of the swimming pool. You know it's going to be bloody cold. You're going to do it, right? You just do it. And just go back and you feel good afterwards. So I'd love that bit. And Simon, what was your main insight that you got from today?
Well, my main insight, Tony, is standing on the edge of the pool and not jumping in because it's bloody cold. However, in respect to what we're talking about today, though, I think what I always get something different than Tony gets. And today, for me, it was all about gratitude being so powerful. And I think, you know, all of us are very, very different, but we've all got something in our lives to be grateful for. And I think, you know, as you were saying, Amanda, I think you were very inspiring in the way that you said that, you know, it doesn't matter how bad it is, from a negative point of view, you can always reframe it and put it into a positive. Yeah. And I think, you know, there's not one person that I have met in my life that is not grateful for something in their life. And I think we've got to allow ourselves the recognition, I suppose, of being able to look back at those things and say, hey, you know, I'm grateful for the people in my life, the people around me, my family, and all those amazing people like Tony and yourself that are around me in a community that we all support one another. And I think that's really, really powerful. And I love your talk today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it.
That's all right. And as a you know, I mentioned at the start of the show that you're in Sydney and Tony's in Tasmania. So unfortunately, I'm going to have these myself. You know, every second week I've got to sit down and eat these all by myself. You know, one day we're all going to be together and we can.
That's right.
So, you know, you guys are okay. You can be grateful for the
kilos I won't put on.
you know, and I've got to sit here and put kilos on. So, you know, I've got to turn that negative into a bloody positive. So,
That's right.
Save me a crunchy, Simon. I like the crunchies.
look, I think, look, it's been absolutely, truly inspiring, Amanda, having you on our show today, and I've absolutely loved it. And I speak on behalf of Tony. I think, you know, today's show's been an absolute cracker. And I value everything that you've said, and I think to our community that comes back and watches this show, I think there's going to be a lot of insight in there that that you've shared that people are going to really resonate with and take forward and make a change in their own lives. And you know, I hope some of those people can reach out to you, Amanda. Just while we've got you, how do we find you, Amanda?
Yeah, so I'm most present on LinkedIn. And it's under my own profile, so it's under Amanda McNeil. But that's where I show up most days of the week. I'm also on Facebook as well, again under my name, Amanda McNeil. But LinkedIn is the space where I'm most present. So please reach out via direct message on LinkedIn. I'd love to chat to you. Yeah.
So all the people out there listening to Amanda today, please reach out to her because she's an amazing, amazing coach, and I would truly welcome you to do so. So, Tony, we're on again in a fortnight's time for our 40th show, my friend.
Yes, we're going to have to make it a good one.
And like we have started doing, we're not divulging who we've got on.
It's a secret, right? Only I know. Even you don't know, Dick.
I'm telling you now that we've got a gentleman on next in a fortnight's time that is absolutely going to blow the internet apart because of the story that he's going to share with us. So I can tell you now, it is going to be an absolute amazing cracker of a show. So we welcome you to come back again in a fortnight's time, and we would love to have you on our Let's Chat show. So thank you again, everyone. It's been an amazing show, and have a great weekend, and see you all very, very soon. Bye for now.
Okay. Upwards and onwards.